Amazing.
Right.
So we have resources actually at the end of the Luma. If you go into the Luma, we prepared resources for you at the end of it. And everyone from the audience, if they want to add resources to that document, at the end of the day, we just want to make sure everyone has the right resources to start somewhere if they're interested in cybersecurity. We have an audience question that I would like to address. How would someone break into a role where as a cybersecurity specialist could be contracted out for work on an FOB or military installation as a civilian contractor?
I'll defer. Kenneth, do you have any federal, like, do you hire federal folks on the federal side?
Yeah, I
Okay.
do for my client. So let me see how someone pregnant role specialist contracted for. For that, a lot of times they're gonna require you to have a clearance. It's probably one of the biggest things, right? So being eligible to get a clearance is one of your probably the first steps, right? Second step is military personnel are pretty tight knit community, right? So definitely getting referred to probably your best bet for that as well. So if you live close to whatever military installation or base you want to go to, right? If you live in the DMV area, it's a lot easier, right? Because most of the folks go out to drink and dinner at the same place over and over again for like different conferences and different meetups. So definitely taking that route is going to be very beneficial. That's how a lot of my students have gotten jobs, right? So that'll probably even be my first bet for you in that regard.
I would say with this right now, honestly, federal government's a tough place to work. It is difficult to get in right now. I just want to be honest, and I used to mentor people in getting government jobs, and I think I'd let this dust settle for a little bit without getting political there. So, but to get a contract job, you just, make sure you're able to get a security clearance. Honestly, like think about that. Look at the requirements for security clearance. But if you get a job, there's so many contracting companies. I mean, you got the DC area, but like look at the companies that do it. You got Boeing, Northrop Grumman, you got the big ones there. But if you get your certifications and start to network with those people, the local groups we've all been mentioning, there's InfraGard is a great group. That's a free group, and it's a partnership between the FBI and the civilian sector. That's a great group to get involved in. They actually do a background check on you as well. I've been a member for a while now. That's where you can start to meet some of the folks who are civilian contractors, and that's a great way to network. But InfraGard is a great group, and hit me up if you need details about that. Thanks.
Okay, we're ready for the next one. If one wants to get into a particular role, let's say offensive security engineer, is it necessary to have a knowledge of other roles too, like hear about SOC analysts and others?
I can start. The answer is yes, because I've been in the cyber threat operations centers for Fortune 50 companies, and you work with SOC analysts, you work with the offensive security team, you work with the cyber hunting teams. So having that knowledge and understanding what they're doing is going to put you in a position to basically be successful in what you're doing operationally, because ultimately you got to think that everyone's representing the organization and try to reduce risk and improve security posture, regardless if they're a SOC analyst, security engineer, GRC person, program manager. So everyone needs to kind of delineate and understand that if you have knowledge of the other teams, engagements and happenings, you're probably going to be better set up in a position for success for your own particular role as an offensive security engineer or whatever that is, right, within the security function and the overall infosec function in those organizations. So I definitely say it's definitely something you want to evaluate. Is it necessary? Maybe not. But at the same time, I would definitely not have that mindset. I would have the mindset to know about what the teams are doing, to be a better partner and a better enabler of the business.
And you need to be able to speak the language of the other teams, at the very least. Because say I was never good at programming. I know very little. I know enough to be dangerous. But I learned to speak it at DevOps, the programmers, so I could give them the deliverables and what they needed to help me along and help them along. So yeah, you definitely have to be able to, you have to have knowledge, you have to be able to wear many hats.
Jump to the next question. For someone who's interested in the purple team, are there any labs out there that cover a hybrid approach, or should I just do each sector separately?
So for my students, we teach them Atomic Red Team to do adversarial emulation, right? And then you can plug that into whatever CI/CD platform, sure, DevOps, Terraform, it also doesn't matter, to test it out. Or you can do direct integration with a Linux machine, or do testing with like Splunk or Microsoft Sentinel, right? That's one way that we teach our students on how to actually do purple teaming. It's a lot of fun, actually. I like it a lot. So that's one way you can do it. There's other labs as well, but it's just one example.